Hey everybody, welcome back. It is week 42 and this is the penultimate video of the year. Penultimate, good vocab word for you, simply meaning second to last. Anyway, as mentioned last week, put in a big cut to the volume this week simply because I was coming in way too high and need to cut it down a little bit in order to come in on my 7 million pounds goal for the year instead of flying way over it, which I guess you could do if you wanted to, but I didn't want to, so that's that. Anyway, what I decided to do on the lower body lifts, as you're seeing here, is simply cut my volume in half and then attempt to get all the volume in one set. So for example here on squats, last week I did 14 reps, I think across 4 sets, and this week I did 7 and just tried to get it in one tough set, and yeah, it was tough and I got it, so that's excellent. Then, moving on to the bench, what I decided to do on Saturday was my normal 225 for 2 with the pause. And then I left 225 on the bar and did 5 singles with 1 minute in between sets. And that went pretty well because that is 20 pounds heavier than my usual working weight. So that made it more difficult. And obviously, with only doing 5 reps instead of 14, that cut down the volume quite a bit. If you guys remember, last week I described Sunday's squats as terrible. So I kept that in mind. And this week, what I ended up doing was instead of doing high bar squats on Sunday, I did low bar squats. That way I could handle the same numbers as usual, but it definitely makes the lift quite a bit easier. Pretty much just trying to listen to my body and not get hurt. So obviously moving it down to low bar is what enabled me to get a set of 7 here with 275, because I really think had I attempted this high bar, it would have been a bad result. And even though I don't normally show them on camera, things like overhead press and deadlifts, same concepts apply to those as well. Like cut the volume in half, do one big set, or in some cases, just work the reps harder. For example, with overhead press, I was doing some reps slower, like intentionally slower to make the muscles work harder, that kind of thing, and it went pretty well this week. I'm pretty happy. On to a different topic. Since we are now post-diet, I put together a chart showing both the beginning of the diet projection for my rate of weight loss and then superimposing over the top of it my actual rate of weight loss during the course of the diet. And that is coming up next. So if you want to pause the screen so you can read this, go ahead and do that now. So the line on the bottom, or in blue, is the projected values that came out of just doing the math at the beginning of the diet. And the pink values are what arrived via my actual weigh-ins each week. And I thought it was pretty cool. The first 5 weeks, they basically tracked point for point. Then there was a slight deviation where the actual was coming in slightly higher than the projected, although it did end up catching up because I made the proper adjustments during the diet, and basically at the end we hit the exact number we were intending. As you guys know, with me being a numbers geek, that kind of thing makes me say, yeah, that's awesome, since you can basically project exactly what's going to happen just based on the math, as long as you just hit your numbers every day with your diet, no problem. Awesome. Switching topics once again, last week's long run was pretty awesome. I did 2 laps of my usual loop, each one 1400 meters, so that's 2.8K, and then I ran a 5K loop, and when I checked the split time for the 5K portion, I said to myself, isn't that the exact same time you ran at the race, and you were running slow this whole time? You're a beast. But something in my head said, that can't be right. So what I ended up doing was remeasuring the course really accurately, and it ended up coming out to 4.8K instead of 5K, so 200 meters short. So the total run ended up being 7.6K, and I did it in just under 35 minutes, so basically just under 8-minute mile pace, which is excellent, and I will take that. But after I remeasured that 5K course, I also remeasured the course I run for my 400 meter repeats. Turns out that's actually like 420, so that's really good news, really. I'm actually running 5% longer than I actually think I am, so that's kind of good. And just like that, we've arrived at the one and only Hump Day! Oh yeah! Since Hump Day is always, or pretty much always, my best day of the week, I tossed down an extra 5 pounds on my heaviest squat of the day, 320 on the bar, and this basically flew right up, and I was like, man, that's excellent. But then I noticed for my deadlifts, I originally had scheduled 280 for 8 on the sumo deadlift, and at some point I thought, 290 is my PR, and I've been working my grip, And the grip was the reason I haven't gotten 295 for 8 before, which I think you guys have seen. So anyway, I decided to see if my grip work has been helping, and sure enough, it has. I managed to bust out an 8 rep PR on the deadlift, and yeah, them grip gains, yeah. And I think it was pretty clear that I had a good 2 reps in the tank left on that deadlift set, so I think that sets me up well going into next year when I have 400 pounds on my mind. And a quick correction, earlier I said I ran the long run last week in just under 35 minutes. I meant to say 38 minutes, so just for the record, yeah, 5 miles in 35 minutes, that's a lot faster than 8 minutes per mile. Hey, diet this week, awesome. But really the only change I made was swapped out a protein shake for 6 whole eggs, and you can ask my parents, ever since I was able to eat big people food, I was like, I want eggs, yeah. So, you know, I'm loving that. And the volume data for week 42, yeah, big cut from last week, but that's fine, because 105 is about what I need to average from here to the end of the year to hit my 7 million pounds goal on the nose. And 2017 goals update screen, currently at 9740 on the chin-ups, getting close to 10,000. And for the 7 million pounds challenge, we're currently at 6.25 million, yeah. And last but not least, diet data screen. Yeah, pretty much hit the calories dead on this week, which is excellent. Weight was up 0.17 pounds, which basically indicates my 2,700 as maintenance calculation was correct. So we're going to keep with this. As long as we keep slowly gaining weight, I will be happy. All right, people, next week, last video. I'll catch you then. Bye.